This is my first delivery. I hate these. They're so heavy. So it's a 40-foot extension ladder. Good thing now that I work out. Alright, now I just need to grab my phone and take a picture, because there's nobody here in case somebody steals it. Then they say, hey, well, you did not deliver. No, we take a picture, we document stuff. We'll just say delivered. And of course, I tried calling the guy before, and now when I arrived, as soon as I got out to take to unload the thing, I see a missed call on my phone because I left it in the truck. Like, it's so irritating, you know. You call them, they never pick up, and then as soon as you leave the truck for 2 seconds, there's a missed call. All right, so I just talked to the lady from stop 2, which I'm delivering. See this is like a CO2 tank. Then there's a case there with some stuff, and in the back I have a small air hoist. And I'm going to Freshco, which is a big grocery store. Actually, there's a Freshco near my home. I like them.
Turn right onto Suncastle Drive southeast. Then turn right onto Suncrest Way southeast.
Apple Map says I'm 18 kilometers away. Oh, and the guy replied. I sent him a picture. He says thank you. So I was afraid he would say hide it behind the gate. No, my paperwork says drop on the front lawn, and that's exactly what I did. What is this? Oh, it's my coffee mug.
Turn right onto Suncrest Way southeast.
And so yeah,
Right
I find that customers really appreciate this, you know. And I was the first at our company to start doing this, and one of the managers was really impressed, and he says, you do this for all customers, you know, just take a picture for us in case it gets stolen, but you send them a picture. He says, cool, Sergei, you are good. And actually a couple of times customers called
at the stop sign. Turn right.
Called our company, and they said your driver is, you know, he's doing a good job, because, you know, they see the picture. Like, pictures are, you know, a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? I send them the picture, I say delivered, but I always do this when there's nobody on site. If there's somebody on site, I don't bother. But
turn left toward Highway 201 East.
But yeah, if I'm dropping off equipment and there's nobody there to guarantee its safety, and like this, the guy says drop it on the front lawn, so that ladder can walk away pretty much by itself. So I take a picture, and then if they say, hey, it's not here, sorry, you have a message on your phone saying it was delivered. Oh, and of course the picture will have a timestamp, you know. If you can look at the info, it'll say, okay, delivered, and the picture was, let's say 8:10 a.m., 10 minutes after 8. That's the time now. So speaking about the time, now I'm constantly, for some reason, I keep thinking about England, you know. I wish so much that trip was longer, because then I could have, you know, enjoyed it more, because the first few days you feel nuts, you feel sick, because 7-hour difference, it's a lot, you know. So 8 o'clock here, that's 3 p.m. in UK, which is okay. But imagine when you wake up over there, let's say when we went with John on his trip in a semi-truck, and he says let's meet down here at 7, and right away I calculate 7 a.m. in UK minus 7, that's midnight in Calgary. So basically, and then we start driving of course I'm a passenger, so 8, 9, 10, so it's night for me. It's nighttime, and I'm not sleeping at night, so it's really difficult, you know, when you again, first couple of days, like day 3 I already didn't care, but first couple of days it was not good. So basically, yeah, if you ever go there, don't just go for 1 week, you know, do at least 2, because you'll be sick for the first 3 days and feel sleepless, you know, and tired all the time.
In 1 kilometer, turn left toward Highway 201 East and Stony Trail.
Yeah, somebody asked about my bike. So yeah, Friday I picked up my Fixie, or former Fixie I should say, with that bigger chain ring. So now it's 3-to-1 gear ratio, so 48 teeth on the front,
then at the next one, turn left.
16 on the back, and now it's a freewheel bike, right? And so I wanted to go on a ride like Sunday as I usually do, but it was drizzling, the sky was like this. I don't like riding, you know, in the rain. And so the test run I did was to a liquor store. And I was laughing on the way back because I bought a bottle of vodka and it was fitting perfectly in the water bottle holder. Because on this Fixie bike, unlike my yellow All City bike, the holder is adjustable. There's a screw, you undo that, and the front part of the holder actually moves. Right, so which means that you can use any size bottle with this Fixie bike, which makes it, you know, convenient. So you don't have to buy a special bottle like the one I have on my yellow bike, because that one you need to have certain diameter. But this one I can pretty much pick up any water bottle at the grocery store or Walmart or whatever, and just put it in, change the diameter, and I'm good, you know. And so yeah, vodka fit perfectly, didn't fall out anything. But yeah, hopefully this Sunday the weather will be better. I haven't checked the forecast yet, but if the weather's good, I'll definitely go for a ride. It'll be interesting to compare, because this will be the first, you know, long ride with ex Fixie bike, and it's 3-to-1, so it's faster than my All City, which is close, which is like 2.9 or something.
1.2 kilometers, take exit 101 to merge onto Highway 2.
And so a friend of mine from Edmonton wants to come down with his bike, and we might go together.
Stay in the second or third lane from left and go past this exit.
Yeah, when he has free time, and we can go on a, you know, long ride together. But his bikes he has gravel bikes and racing bikes, like multiple gears. So I said,
use the right 2 lanes to take exit 101 to merge onto Highway 2.
yeah, I said if we go, let's just choose something that's not too steep, because I just have a single gear bike.
Use the left 2 lanes to keep left to merge onto Highway 2 north towards City Center.
Yeah, so this is stop 2, dropping off this little lift or hoist. Okay, which way are we going? North.
Keep left.
Yeah, Deerfoot 2 north. So I'm at the very bottom of Calgary. That's 201, the ring road. Now we're switching to Deerfoot Trail. And stop 3 will be, I'm picking up a generator that was in a shop for repairs. And I didn't look yet at the paperwork closely. I'm not sure if it's a small generator that you put in the back, or is it the one that you tow. I like to tow things with pickup trucks, you know, makes me feel like a real trucker. But if that's the case, then I'll have to just attach. We have all kinds of hitches in the back of this pickup truck. I just attach the hitch and go hook up the generator. Again, if it's the one with wheels. And they try to alternate us. So yesterday I was on the Freightliner, and the other two guys were in pickup trucks, and actually one was in another Freightliner because we have two, right? But this morning,
Stay in the left 4 lanes.
yeah, they started me with this, and the two other guys are driving Freightliners.
In 5.2 kilometers, take exit 241 onto 24th Street East.
Got an interesting email today. You know, when you have a YouTube channel, so you get all kinds of offers from advertisers, you know, and marketing managers, where they wanted to review their stuff. But most of the time they're super cheap, and so they don't want to pay. Let's say they wanted to mention their product, let's say they wanted to talk about it for a couple of minutes at the beginning of the video, then maybe in the middle, you know, hey, you know, this video is sponsored by so and so, and then talk about the product, but they don't want to pay. What they do is they send you the free sample. So let's say I have a dash cam in my Jeep, and actually a pretty good dash cam because it has 3 cameras. I only installed 2, one facing forward and one facing inside, which records the driver and the passengers if I want to. But there's also another camera I can install on the rear window, but then there's too many cables. I didn't want to do that, but I got it for free because this Chinese company reached out. I worked with them before, and I thought, hey, you know, I left my previous dash cam in the old car. I think it was in Dodge Charger or Hellcat over there, and when I sold it, and so, hey, I need a new dash cam. And so I said, yeah, I'll do a video. And so they sent me this dash cam. I did kind of like a quick review,
Stay in the left 3 lanes.
and I kept the dash cam. But this, and then I had some offers, I just ignore them
In about 2 kilometers, take exit 241 onto
because it's
24th
something
Street East.
either unrelated to me, to my channel, like, you know, trucking and stuff like that, or, hold on, sorry, so it's unrelated. Let's say one company offered me to review a monitor for a motorcycle. Like, I never rode a motorcycle in my life, you know, like, why would I do that review on my channel where a lot of people are interested in trucking and cars and trucks, right? Then
Use the right lane to take exit 241 onto 24th Street East.
Then a few days ago I got actually an interesting offer because it's a big company, but it's for chocolate. And I like chocolate, but it makes me sick because it has milk, right? And I'm allergic.
Then keep right onto 24th Street
But
East.
it's I forgot the brand, but it's a famous brand of chocolate.
Use the right lane to keep right onto 24th Street East.
I see it all the time in, you know, in big stores. It's a very good chocolate, but again, I'm supposed to eat it, right? To do a review, I'm supposed to eat it, and I guess they would send me a free sample of this chocolate, you know. But again, because I cannot eat it, I just ignored that message. But this morning I see a new email on my phone, and it's from a lady who claims that she works for Nikon. You know, Nikon cameras. Holy moly, that's a monster. That's a huge company in Japan, and she says she works for
Pass this light. Then at the next one, turn left.
she says she works for a marketing team, and they love my videos. Of course, they say that to everybody. So but I do have quite a few videos where I talk about my cameras, and I'm a big fan of Nikon. I tried Canon. I like the Nikon's picture better, and I have Nikon lenses, right? So I told them, I said, hey, if you're really with Nikon, I'd be super interested in.
Use the left 2 lanes to turn onto 18th Street Southeast.
I'd be super interested in working with you, but I said I have Nikon cameras. Told her the brands, and I said I do events and the parties and stuff like that. So
Turn left.
if you think I can help you promote the brand, I'd be happy to hear some ideas. And so yeah, that would be interesting, you know, because I see everybody, you know, left and right, they're getting sponsored, and of course then you can make, you know, some cash. Hopefully they will, because yeah, they say, oh, we can do rentals, kind of like a free rental. You can rent a camera, you know, let's say some fancy, you know, Z8 or Z8 or Z9, like the one I used to have. But I'm more interested in cash. But man, this would be an awesome, huge fish to
In 3.5 kilometers.
to get, you know. So anyway, I'm getting close to my store. I think 3.5 clicks. And when I talk to the lady, she says, please go to the back and unload it on the dock. And I said, I'm in a pickup truck, but I think I can manage it. I can just back to a dock, you know, and then I can climb in the bed, and I can just, it's not that heavy. That hoist, I don't know, probably 40 pounds, you know. Yeah, see, the weather's not very good today. It's not raining, but it wants to. So today's Wednesday, so I'm resting from my workout. Yesterday was an awesome workout, like full hour. So Thursday I'm going there again. And also turns out I asked him how can I make money with referrals, and they showed me how it works on in the app, you know, like I have the Gold Gym app on my phone, and there's a little icon or logo, whatever it says, I think bonus or revenue or something like that. And so all you do is you just need to enter first and last name of the person and their email or phone number, and they will get 1 day for free. So they come to the gym for 1 day to check it out, and they can train, and then I get free time. So basically, the more people you sign up, you help sign up, if they sign up, they give you discounts from off your membership. So if you have a bunch of people, then basically my membership can be free, you know. So right now I'm on the cheapest plan, which is gold, and I'm paying about 60 bucks a month. So it's $30 every 2 weeks, which is not too bad for a huge gym with lots of machines. But somebody said, why I decided to join a gym if I have all the pretty much, you know, kettlebells and barbell plates over there. It's because of the atmosphere, you know. Atmosphere, it's much more interesting to train with other people, you know, and you can meet some people, you can meet new friends, you know, instead of sitting at home by yourself with those. And then you get lazy, you don't want to do it, you know, when you by yourself. So here you go there, you get excited, you get motivated, you know. That's why there's all these people pay money. Like they could have gone to a fitness store and bought a couple of, you know, barbells and kettlebells, but no, most people prefer to work out with other people, you know. We're social beings, we like being around other people.
Turn right.
And yesterday I was watching a guy in a hoodie. I'm guessing he's trying to lose weight, pants, jacket, hoodie, and he was doing either squats or deadlifts, and I look at the barbell. With the barbell, the barbell has 4 plates on each side, and I couldn't see the outside plates, but on the inside plates I see number 45, and I'm like, holy moly. So if all his plates are 45 pounds, that's like crazy.
Go past this light, then at the next one, turn right.
But he probably had, because yeah, actually they look the same, you know, same size, because the smaller plates are less thick. Oh, Freshco, here we go. But so yeah, 45, 90 and 180, so that's 360 pounds if this guy was lifting that, if all the plates were the same. So a bit nuts, you know. So you watch that, and then I was doing leg presses on the machine, and I put two
turn right onto 76 Avenue
I put
Southeast, then take the next right into the parking lot.
You know that machine where you sit on a chair and there's a plate here, and you push it with your legs, and you can put plates on the other side there. And I started with like 45.
Turn right into the parking lot.
I started with 45 pounds, and then of course I'm doing my progressive method, you know, when I start with heavier weights, and then
parking lot for your destination.
when I start with, let's say, 45, and then I switch to 30, and then 25, you know, with like little only like 10, maybe 10 seconds between sets. That guy is looking at me like I'm turning this way, and he cannot wait. Stupid student driver. I think I can drop it over here on the dock, because I don't want to wait for this truck. But there's a dock there, because this lady who I talked to, she says they're coming at night. Wait, it's a bit. Can I fit in there? Oh yeah, there's lots of room. Anyway, let's deliver this and get out of here. I see a door there, so I'm pretty sure I can unload it over here. So usually there's a door next to shipping receiving. We have to, usually it's, you know, when you go in there and then you have to walk around. Usually it's on the side. I parked the truck, I walked around, there's nothing there. What the heck, you know? And so the only door was the one that I backed to. And there's a buzzer, nothing happens. So I walked inside.
76 Avenue Southeast.
I see some ladies there stocking some produce in the produce department. I said, guys, I have a delivery. How do I get to shipping receiving? I said, I tried the buzzer, and the girl started laughing. Oh, the buzzer doesn't work. Yeah, it's really funny. So you have to walk, like she says, just walk in the back to the dock through the store, and on the door it says authorized personnel only. But you know, I'm wearing my high-vis vest, and I was told I can enter, so I'm authorized. So I go there, and some guys are unloading that truck with an electric little forklift, you know, like the one that you walk behind. We have those too. And he looks at me, he says, 5 minutes. I said, no, I don't need the dock. I said, I already unloaded everything on the other side of this door. But I said, the ladies told me the buzzer does not work. He said, yeah, it hasn't been working for a long time. But I look at the...
Then keep left to merge onto Glenmore Trail.
I look at the signs on the door, and it says it's an emergency door. If you try to open it, the alarm will sound. And I look at the guy and said, what about the alarm? And he says, oh, don't worry about it. He says, the alarm is not working. Hasn't worked for a while. So the buzzer doesn't work, the alarm doesn't work. He said, just open the door. I said,
to keep left to merge onto Glenmore Trail.
I said, the stuff I brought, it's on the other side of this door. And he says, shall I just bring it in? He says, yeah, I would. And so I opened the door, those little latch at the bottom. No alarm. I brought the stuff and I left a copy of the paperwork and I showed the guy what it is. I said, here's the paperwork, has the name and phone number of, you have these contractors coming to work here at night for something, and they need this.
Stay in the left 3 lanes.
They need this hoist. And the guy said, okay. So I walked back through the store.
Turn right onto 100th Street Southeast.
And now we're heading over to stop 3. And the right lane is ending over here. Yeah, I'm heading east. So this is Glenmore Trail heading east towards the ring road. But actually my pickup is right off this. I'm gonna cross, I know what it is. I'm basically, once I cross over the 201, the ring road, there'll be a huge industrial area. There's a lot of trucking companies there. And that's where this generator sits. And I just look at the paperwork, it says 25 kilowatts. I think that's a big one. That's the one on wheels. And each time now I drive here in Calgary, I remember John complaining, the trucker John from UK, when he was 10 years ago. He still remembers he was here 10 years ago in Calgary. They rented the RV. They went to the mountains, and he says, I still remember that your red lights are like crazy long. You'll be, you know, you'll wait for like 5 minutes at the red light. And I'm now, each time he told me that, I started remembering that, yeah, in UK they were much faster, you know. But one thing John probably forgot is that this is Calgary. Okay, it's not Washington DC or New York City, but we have close to 2 million people, you know, with all the suburbs. So there's a lot more cars, a lot more traffic. Like, he lives in a small village just south of Newcastle, right? So of course our red lights should be longer, because they need to let more cars through at the time. And so they're like, we're driving and the other side is waiting, right? So now they're probably complaining to their friends, oh heck, these red lights last forever over here. But the longest red light I ever saw, or red lights rather, because they were all the same, was in Florida. I remember a few years ago when I went to Florida while I waited for my truck. I think it was either Mack or Kenworth. I went there because I didn't have a truck, right? I only had an RGN, but I sold my previous truck. Let's say I sold International, I was waiting for Mack, and then I sold Mack, I was waiting for the Kenworth. And so I had to kill like 2 or 3 months while the truck was being built. And so I went to Jacksonville, Florida. The hotels are quite cheap over there, like 30 bucks, you know, US, of course. Lots of wildlife, you know, lots of interesting things to do. And I remember that I rented, no, I had my own car, because I went there in my car. I think it was either Mustang or Challenger or something like that. And the red lights were like crazy. I think it's because they have a lot of retired people, you know, and so the cognitive abilities already start going down. So people drive around with eternal left signal. You know, once they leave the house, they put on the signal, they never cancel it. Because in some 10 kilometers they'll be turning right again. So it's either eternal right or eternal left signal. And most cars look empty. there's nobody in the car. You only see two hands, two skinny hands and arms on the top of the steering wheel, but there's no, you cannot see anybody here because they're 5 feet tall. Some of these jokes are not mine. I took them from a stand-up comedy show. But the lights are true. I experienced that. So the red lights last even longer than in Calgary. Oh, a guy is moving some pipe. Western Star 53 flatbed. Yeah, so this is 68th Street, and I think after this we'll be crossing the 201. Yeah, and so this is great on the way back. Like, actually they gave me this air hoist and then that big ladder, and according to my paperwork I was supposed to deliver the hoist first and then the ladder, and I hate doing that because to get to the hoist I would have to unload the ladder, unless I want to muscle it from the bed, you know, without using the tailgate, opening the tailgate, I mean. And so I checked on the map and it seemed logical to deliver the ladder first and then go to this Freshco with the hoist. What the heck? Oh, I see what it is. There's a bunch of staples over there, and that's what causing this noise, because they always give us staples when they give us paperwork and we just drop them somewhere. Oh, I'm gonna put it over here. There's another bottle holder over there in the middle. So I saved $4.15 this morning because I got my own coffee. This is a regular coffee with basically I do 10 ounces of regular coffee and then 9 ounces of decaf, and it tastes pretty good. All right, so we're going we're going to the other side of 201. Oh, yeah, I started saying that this is great because then on the way back I'll just jump here. There's a ramp there to jump back going north on 201, and I'll be back at the base in no time. This is Canadian Freightways, and it says TST Express, so it's clearly a trucking company or logistics something. There's a container yard, there's another trucking company. Oh, it's a school, pro driving school for class 1 drivers. By the way, after I came back from England for some reason, I didn't eat that much, but when I left I was 178 pounds. Now I'm at 185 for some reason. And for me, anything over 180 is considered overweight. So technically,
at the light, turn right onto 100th Street Southeast.
yeah, technically I'm 5 pounds overweight, which is not good. So the truck, this F350, probably is getting bad fuel mileage because of me. Because the driver is overweight. Yeah, that's the place I was thinking about. So there's
1.2 kilometers. Turn left onto Endeavour Drive Southeast.
yeah, there's a whole bunch of companies over here. There's some kind of a nuclear power station. No, probably not nuclear, but I don't know what they're doing there.
In 900 meters, turn left onto Endeavor Drive Southeast.
Yesterday I had a nice dinner. I had some kebabs from my local Freshco. So I had 3 kebabs. So I preheated the oven to 425F. And then I had the small potatoes, you know, those baby potatoes that you buy in the bag. And on the back of the bag there were cooking instructions. And they said if you cut these small potatoes in 2 and you preheat the oven to 400, then they will be ready in 30 minutes. And so I figured, okay, I don't want to cut them because I like them whole with the skin. So I'll do 40 minutes or 45 minutes. So I put the,
Then take the first right.
I preheated the oven to 425 and I put some foil on the tray, sprinkle some oil, and I put those 7 or 8 potatoes and I set the timer to 15 minutes. And then when that time was done, I added sliced yellow pepper and 3 kebabs, and I set the timer for 25 minutes
Destination is on your left.
because I know it takes 25 minutes to cook veggies and kebabs. And so by that time it was 40 minutes for the potatoes. They were done. And so I had potatoes with pepper, with kebabs, some wine. Man, okay, this is the place. Yeah, I've been here before many times. So just now have to go inside and see where our generator is. So that's the hitch I'm using. See, chains, electric, and this pin over here. And this is a G25. It says 20 kilowatt quiet power, Wacker Newson. It's pretty chilly, plus 10 Celsius, 50 F. And when I tow something, I like to do this, push this little button here, and then you see that yellow sign, tow haul. So basically this keeps you in the gear a bit longer when it upshifts, and also when it downshifts for braking power, you know, which is helpful when you, like, this is not that heavy, but still, you know.
Turn right onto Venture Avenue Southeast.
It helps to pick up speed faster, and it helps to slow down faster. And I always, after I hook up, I always put on my 4-way flashers, and I go check if the lights work, because sometimes you have to play with that plug.
In 1.2 kilometers, turn left onto Glenmore Trail Southeast.
Yeah, see, so we're going back the same way we came. Then we jump on Glenmore Trail, which will take us to the Ring Road 201. Now here's the most stupid intersection in Calgary. Like, why do we have stop signs over here? This is a dead road. They should have a stop sign. We're just turning. I'm telling you, somebody in the Calgary Transportation Office is, you know, a lunatic. There's so many, you know, decisions like that they did with roads, which make no sense. Why do we have flashing lights over there? I see 2 red flashing lights. So it's probably, oh, it's a truck. Okay. Sorry, 4 flashing lights. least the cool thing is that I can actually see this generator I'm pulling, because some of them are so small
Turn left onto Glenmore Trail Southeast.
you cannot even see them in the mirror, in the rear view mirror. Glenmore TR. Sometimes that's what the Apple Maps or Google Maps call them. Take the ramp to Glenmore TR and proceed straight for 5 kilometers. And there's more industrial facilities if you go this way. There's like a huge industrial park over there on the other side of the field. Alright, is the generator still with us?
Take a slight right turn to merge onto Highway 201 North.
Just following me like a little doggy. When I was driving with John in UK, you know, he's a huge fan of Suzuki cars, which here in Canada they sold.
Use the right lane to take a slight right turn to merge onto Highway 201 North.
They sold so poorly that Suzuki pulled the plug in 2014.
Take a slight right turn.
2014 was the last year they sold Suzuki, and they said, I looked up on Google, the annual sales were only 5,000 cars, and they said they had to shut down Canada sales because it made no sense for them to, because you have to modify the cars for a particular market, right? Let's say we need to have kilometers, we need to have running daylights, which I don't think they require in the States, but here it's by, you know, by law. And then of course emissions probably might be slightly different from US, for example, and or Japan. And so they said because of all these factors and very low sales, they canceled Suzuki Canada auto sales in 2014. But guess what, 2015, just 1 year later, they shut down sales of cars in US, which is a huge market compared to Canada, and still they could not sell these cars over there either. But John is persuaded
About 26 kilometers.
these are quality cars, and you know, I drove with them for 9 days. I didn't see any issues, but he was super happy whenever he would see a Suzuki on the road. He said, Suzuki, another Vitara. Well, John, if you were here now, you wouldn't have a chance to point out a Vitara unless it's like 2010, you know, 15 years old. I do see them sometimes, but it's doesn't happen every day. I don't know what's. I trust John saying that, you know, the quality is good, but for some reason people didn't like them. I think it's because, maybe it's because of the design, you know, design of the body. It did not stand out. It was pretty much the same as everybody else, because we have Kia, you know, Hyundai, Toyota, GM, you know, they're all similar, like a small SUV like that. Like Honda, like old Honda SUVs, they look similar to Suzuki Vitara, but Suzuki still exists here. What they do sell is boat engines, motorcycles, and ATVs. Yeah, you can still buy a Suzuki motorcycle, Suzuki ATV, all-terrain vehicle, and Suzuki engine for boats. Just delivered my second load. It was just one way loaded scaffolding, and they said we're not too busy, so take lunch if you want. And so I loaded the scaffolding. It was not too much, just a couple of decks, 4 frames plus 2 half frames. And then this place is pretty close, like 5 minutes away. I stopped at Sobeys and I got some, you see over there, got some sushi. So that's I have to write down the calories over here. And my rental customer was texting me how she's from Ontario, so she came with a Rogers phone, which I know does not work very well here. Okay, calories, where's calories? Scan it, say it, calories. So I had 598 calories. That was my lunch, because I had the California roll and I had vegetarian roll, and that's okay. So that leaves me enough calories for the evening. And I have some frozen salmon in the freezer still, and I have those small potatoes. So the plan for the dinner for today is again, use the oven, preheat the oven, and then bake potatoes for 15 minutes, and then throw in salmon. It takes 25 minutes again. Oh, and also I'll use peppers. I don't know, I love the sweet peppers, yellow especially. My mom used to call them paprika. Paprika, I don't know if that's like Hungarian word or paprika, sweet peppers. They taste super good when baked with other veggies and meat. So anyway, so I had my lunch, and it's already, by the time I'll be back at the base, it'll be 11:30. So half of the day is gone. And yeah, my rental customer tried to check in. She has to upload, photos to prove there's no damage. And she calls me, she says, Sergei, I'm here, I parked the car where it was sitting before, but I cannot upload photos. She says I have like less than 1 bar. Well, 1 bar. And I said, who is your provider? She says, Rogers. So I almost started laughing. I said, you from Ontario? I said, I moved from Ontario 2 years ago, and I can tell you that, yeah, that's the worst company here. If you live in Alberta, Rogers has the worst signal. But actually recently, I've been talking to a guy at the liquor store, and he says he switched all his family back to Rogers because evidently they've been trying to improve the coverage. They added some towers, so I know, but I don't trust them. And so I said, you need TELUS over here. You need TELUS, T-E-L-U-S, TELUS. That's the best provider in West when you're in the West. Bell is okay, but Rogers, at least 2 years ago, was the absolute worst. I could not make calls from inside of my apartment on the first floor. There was no signal. Bell was a bit better, but now I have no issues calling from my apartment with TELUS. And so anyway, so she had to go back to her hotel, which probably was not too far, and they allowed her to use their Wi-Fi to upload the photos. And then finally I received a message from the rental company saying she's checking out, complete your checkout. So basically now my job is to, once I get back home, walk around the car, take pictures of the exterior, interior, and then if everything good, said checkout complete, no damage, record the kilometers, how much she drove. Hopefully she didn't go over. I don't give them free unlimited distance unless they pay. So I give them 400 kilometers a day, which is what, 250 miles a day. And then if they want unlimited, I think it's 80 bucks or 100 bucks if they want unlimited. Because I already have probably what, 17,000 clicks on it since October. You know, I don't want to add too many miles, because that would affect the residual value of the car. But anyway, so the customer was super happy. She said she made sure there was no garbage left. She checked outside and inside, and she ended the message with, would love to rent again. Cool. I said, okay, I'll when I get back and look at the car, I'll make sure I'll leave you good review, good rating. But yeah, this is not the first reaction of this kind, you know, because a lot of cars are just, you know, if you go to a rental place, you just get a small car, you know, and so this is a huge SUV with 7 seats, and you know, sounds nice now after I put in the H-pipe, lots of torque, lots of power, so people love it. I don't know, they don't care that it burns 15 liters per 100 kilometers. But if you go on a drive, if you go, you know, like Edmonton or Red Deer or whatever, it's gets close to 10 liters. It's only in the city where, you know, between lights you get the worst gas mileage. But so she said, I love the car, would love to rent it again. And I said, yeah, thanks. And I said, I love driving it too. That's one of the reasons I bought this, because I love this powerful V8. And I did some shopping, used my lunchtime. I was running out of foil, you know, I used this foil to cover my tray so that I don't have to wash it every time when I bake something. And I was running out of oil, so I got this fancy extra virgin Filippo Berio extra virgin 750 mil. It was 23 bucks. I have no idea what extra virgin is, but it sounds better than a regular olive oil. Alright, yeah, that was Sobeys. That's where I stopped for lunch. They have great deli section, and you know, you can get sushi, you can get salads, you can get sandwiches. And here also they have noodle box, liquor store, Ace Liquor, cannabis, Domino's Pizza, Burger King, Tim Hortons is here. Like, it's a large shopping center. Oh, a cop stopped somebody. Giving them a hard time. So it started very nasty, you know, the sky was looking very nasty, but now look, it's cloudy, but clouds are moving away, and finally we have the sunshine. Now we are cooking with gas at plus 13 Celsius. Holy moly. Wait, is it 13 or 18? Oh, it's 18. 1-8. Well, just did my first load after lunch, and of course after lunch it's always physical. I don't know what's the story is, but whenever I have like a big lunch, and then it's hard to work because you feel sleepy, and you get, you know, scaffolding, or this time I got pallets, you know, I call them skids. They said load as many as you can in the pickup truck and take them to the Spy Hill which is city of Calgary landfill. And at first I had no idea how everything works over here, but I've been here a couple of times before. We got rid of some tires and some skid steer tracks. Those are super heavy, and some pallets. And so yeah, I loaded up pallets, went in. You go through the scale and they give you a tag with a number, and they write down your company name, and then so they scaled me. I was 4340 kgs coming in with the pallets, and when I was getting out, my weight was exactly 4,000 kgs, or 4 tons, 4 metric tons, which means I had 340 kilos of pallets, which is a lot, you know. It's like 700 pounds. There was a lot of pallets, and they tell you where to drop them. Like if they're clean, you drop them in one spot. If they are dirty, like covered with paint, or if they are pressure treated, you drop them in the garbage container. The guy says, okay, if they're clean, go to the end there, you'll see a bunch of pallets. If they're dirty, drop them inside container number 4, and they're just garbage. Basically they don't want anything with chemicals in them. But these ones, I don't know, they probably recycle them or something, send them to a pallet place, and maybe they can reuse them or something, I don't know. Yeah, my phone died. We are flying blind. But since this is my second year on the job and I'm doing Uber all the time, I already know Calgary pretty well. Now here there's a big hill, so we definitely have to pass this guy, dump truck, because it'll take him 3 minutes to get to the top, where there's a some metal part fell off over there. I hope it's not bolts from the wheels of this guy. Man, it's like oh, it's probably one of those, you know, like a decoration cover you put on your bolts. Yeah, these guys, especially after when it's a red light and they're loaded. I'm pretty sure this guy is loaded. Yeah, because he has his net over. Does he? So if he is loaded and he's pulling 2 trailers, I'm telling you, like the ramp is right there, the ramp to 201 East. That's what I need. Oh, check this out. Shell regular gas V-Power 87, or petrol for you, John, $30.9. $30.9. Yeah, so you see, that guy is far back. Because yeah, once I made a mistake like this. I was stuck behind a dump truck for half an hour. He was trying to get to the top of the hill here. Yeah, I see west is this way, and east, Stony Trail 201 is the next ramp. Uh-oh. And somewhere here there's that rotary bike pathway. It just follows the ring road, and if you go all around Calgary, it's gonna be around 100 kilometers, so 60 miles. But I'm not yet ready for a ride like that. I did 50 kilometers, or was it 52? It was not too hard, you know, because it's not like you're digging a ditch, you're just riding a bike. And that was with a fixie bike. So now that fixie became a freewheel bike, it'll be even easier. But I want to do that trail, that ride I did from Pierce Park to Annie's Cafe. I found that one was, yeah, that one was, I think 25 kilometers one way, or 20 kilometers, something like that. And it's all mostly flat. It was super nice, and it's along the river, very scenic, you know. Yeah, I love this this trait of Calgary, that they treat cyclists like this, that we have our own dedicated little roads. Not like they do in UK. So yeah, $1.30 per liter, which is roughly, I would say, 0.65 pound per liter. So roughly 2 times cheaper than in England. And that's why you see everybody drives trucks like this one. V8. That's another one in front of me, Chevy Silverado. There's a Ford over there, and of course I'm driving a truck, because here we don't care too much about, you know, fuel consumption. Chevy are good trucks, you know, Silverado or GMC, same deal. But I once rented a GMC Sierra V8, but it's a small V8. I think it's like 5 liter, no, 5.3 I think. It was good, very comfortable, you know. I love trucks. See, Dodge Ram on the other side. What is this? Another Ram 1500. That's the most popular vehicle here. 2 types. Number 1, SUV. I would say SUVs are more popular because we live so close to mountains and roads are poorly plowed in winter. And number 2, most popular are pickup trucks. 4x4, high ground clearance, and they have a bed because we have so much construction going on. So I see Silverado. We have so much construction going on that construction guys like using trucks because they can carry tools, you know, they can go off-road. See, what is this? F-150 Ford XLT pulling a trailer. We're at plus 21C. Range Rover. You see a lot of these Range Rovers here for some reason. I don't know. People seem to like them. But they do look, I heard that they're not reliable and the repairs can be very costly, but they have this Defender. Land Rover Defender. Looks pretty, you know, aggressive. My guy's moving a small dozer. That white one was a Mercedes SUV. And Volvo. Volvos seem to be doing a comeback. For a while you didn't see any Volvos, you know, nobody was buying them, but now I see lots of them. Mostly SUVs. And that sound, there's a tape. For some reason they put a tape on top of the windshield, and one end of the tape gets loose and it frails, you know, and it makes that movement in the wind. At first I couldn't figure out what it is, but then I walk outside and I see there's black tape over there, black tape over here. Maybe there's a leak there in the seal or something. I don't know why they did this. We're passing don't know what that car is called, but it's an old Peterbilt dump truck. Probably a maroon Peterbilt. Alright, a motorcyclist. Alright, now we have to pass that dump truck, because if he takes the ramp to Highway 2, that's it. We'll be stuck behind him for half an hour, because it's only one lane. Alright, taking that curb lane, because curb lane if you want to go south on Deerfoot Trail. And this is a K-Whopper T800. No, he's not changing lanes, which means that he's either going straight on 201, or he goes here, which is north on Deerfoot Trail towards Red Deer and towards Edmonton. Yeah, he's taking this one. So he's going towards Airdrie, Red Deer, Edmonton, and Alaska. But he doesn't have a sleeper, so I highly doubt it he's going to Alaska. Actually, wait a second. He's going that way. He's staying on 201. So this is the ramp to Highway 2 South. So let's see what else they'll give me. They said today is slow. That's why I'm doing pallets, because it was slow. The guy said there's a delivery, but the customer didn't sign for it yet, so they were waiting for his signature. He said go do the pallets and then come back see me. All right.